Well, I don't think it's surprising to anybody that's been paying attention that Stellar Blade is basically like the most pre-ordered, looked forward to game coming out anytime in the near future. People are just like super excited about it, both because the protagonist is beautiful and feminine and sexy, and then of course because of the fact that the game looks genuinely good. On top of the fact that it doesn't seem to really give a crap about all the woke pandering that we've seen in so many games these days. So ironically, Packer Girl here on Twitter says that Stellar Blade developer Shift Up is actually hiring artists for their next cross-platform, next-gen project, which sounds interesting. I mean, as somebody who's stuck on PC and Xbox, I'm curious about what that could end up being. But of course, we have to talk about how IGN is now basically like singing the game's praises after getting roasted for IGN France, basically making a mockery of journalism, which is what they do. And of course, you can see the translated version. They had to edit it and amend it here. Veridark points out the interpretation from the French to English says, "This last sentence has been slightly edited for French-speaking people pretending not to understand what we meant, and the English-speaking mob who Google translated the initial text." And you can see the last line here talks about where Bayonetta imposes itself with an iconic character design, or a 2B from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of female cosplayers. E from Stellar Blade is just bland, a doll sexualized by someone you'd think never seen a woman. The ironic part is they edited it from somebody who's likely never seen a woman. And then, of course, we talked about how the director of the game's wife is this beautiful woman. So it completely like made a fool of themselves. But of course, people are still whining about Stellar Blade, about how these gross guys are just sexualizing her and all this. But of course, they're always comparing it to other things. And so you have this one weirdo here, Crystal Williams, who says,
"You can't make sexy women in games anymore. I'm sorry, but did all of you losers miss how feral everyone was going over Lady D? We love sexy characters, we just don't like your unsexy version of sexy."
Now, the ironic thing about this is the fact that it's, first of all, yes, people did mod the character to make her more attractive or make her more sexual. But the thing about it was, she's a very tall, muscular woman. Nobody was like honestly attracted. Well, there's a few people. They were like the ones who wanted her to step on them. But Pancake Brick here, Fried by Korox, pointed out, what, feminine? You don't like feminine women? It's so strange that the only women these weirdos allow you to like are those outside the realm of normal male attraction. And that's really what it is. Women that are tall, muscular, stronger, etc. And so, of course, Khalif Adams. Khalif Adams had to have Alyssa Mercante, our absolute favorite Kotaku editor, journalist, whatever you want to call her, with her Call Me Daddy t-shirt on, which is just so, so professional of her. And she was talking to Khalif about Stellar Blade. And here's a little clip we'll play for you.
The bastion of conservative gaming, the bastion of keeping the wokes mad is Stellar Blade right now. Stellar Blade is the game of the year because there's a shiny titty and a almost a medium ass. It's not even a great ass. It's a medium ass. It's not even that big.
I'm not sure what this guy's talking about, Smedium. Maybe he just, I'm not gonna be mean. I actually thought he swung the other way initially, based on his profile picture. I guess I could be wrong. So you have more of these people coming out saying things like
the Stellar Blade thing to me feels very much like Sydney Sweeney thing, where a bunch of reactionary culture warriors who don't have any other lens to see anything through are so desperate to claim a mascot they think triggers the libs.
The funny thing about it is it has nothing to do with conservatism versus liberal, politics. It's purely gamers are fed up with not having feminine characters. And so you have these other guys like comedian Jake Steinberg saying, today they are performing anger about Stellar Blade, LOL. Pay attention to the content creators ravenously searching for a take so they can disagree with it. Well, you guys are the ones who keep spewing out the crap that people are disagreeing with. We have the God of War creator, David Jaffe, saying how I love how the game that's supposed to be for real men who love hot chicks and hate wokeness rewards them for pre-ordering with lots of clothes and accessories to play dress up with. And then, of course, he points out that the God of War creator here has a very, hopefully that's okay to actually have on YouTube. It's just a still from a game, so I imagine it's okay, right? That's probably going to get taken down. I don't know. He, of course, got criticized for it and responded to Atreus saying, he says, "Are you out of your damn mind? I love Stellar Blade," and even made this video a few days ago about the 5 things I'm most excited about, one of which is the over-the-top sexuality. 2 things can be true. I support balls to the wall overt sexuality in games. I can still make fun of a bunch of horny dudes who act like they've never seen a naked woman before. And honestly, I can understand that argument, but I don't think it's he's being disingenuous about the fact that it's not just people who are, we're not talking about guys who are looking for their beat their meat material. This is a celebration of the fact that there's a game developer who's not afraid to say, screw you guys, my character is going to be stunning, drop-dead gorgeous by conventional standards, not by modern standards. So Savvy Artist called him out on it and said, "Why are you making so many tweets about a game you seem to not plan on playing? Could you please tell me how it's for, quote, real men? Have you never seen outfit selections in a game before? And are you aware women enjoy these types of games too?" And of course, I've seen it from a lot of people, women, especially people like Packer Girl, saying that, of course, why can't we be excited about a sexy female character? She shared how Feminist Frequency, though, if you remember, criticized Bayonetta for the same things they're criticizing Stellar Blade for at the time back in 2014, and now they're all singing the praises of Bayonetta, how well done it was. Giovanni Calantonio here says, "Praying for Stellar Blade to have some wacko anime twist that's like, actually this android is a man, just to see what happens." Just these guys are ridiculous. Another person says, "Shout out to Reset Error for pointing out the sign. I didn't even notice while playing. I had the demo at 9 out of 10, but now it's 10 out of 10. And the sign in the game says boobies." Okay, absolutely fantastic. These guys on Reset Error go, "This seems overt, lol. These devs just don't give an F. They should. They do give an F. They're actively misogynist. This is part of their vision." Okay. So now what we are moving on to is the part that actually has to do with Alyssa Mercante, who we just showed in the previous clip. Alyssa Mercante, who's been very critical of the discourse about Stellar Blade, very critical of the discourse about anybody who criticizes games journalists and, the supposed games journalism as an industry, has been going after Grummz. Grummz, who's been doing a fantastic job pointing things out about Sweet Baby Inc., and Black Girl Gamers, and the Gamergate 2, as they're trying to call it. And now what we see is a mass coordinated campaign between people like Jules Hardy, who worked for the BBC, who's trying to, cause a purge of all gamers to happen, coordinating with other people, saying how Grummz is just some white guy who's trying to get into a group called Black Girl Gamers, regardless of the fact that Grummz is actually, I think, like half Taiwanese or whatever. So Packer Girl points out, feminist media critic and games journalist Nico Deo claims that they have been, quote, yelling about Grummz off and on for over a decade, and yet he keeps coming back like a bad infection. So this person says, "I hate to platform this effing washed-up cornball loser, but this dude is straight up harassing a journalist as an April Fool's joke, all because there's people trying to do another stupid culture war in games again. He's been doing this for 10 years. And the joke they're talking about was Alyssa Mercante and him having a save the date on April 1st. I thought it was pretty funny. I think Alyssa Mercante, honestly, the most relevance she's had in her entire career is this entire situation going on currently. Like, my videos talking about her probably got her more attention than she's had in her entire journalistic career. Then, of course, Cabrutus points out that there is a member of the GDC advisory board siding with a journalist to try and report Grummz, who is actively a game developer and has been a game developer for 20 plus years. He says, "I thought that GDC was on the dev side, weren't they?" And you see this Caroline Marshall play as dusk falls on. That's a hell of a username. Who is a GDC advisory board member, liking and responding to a tweet from Alyssa Mercante calling to mass report Grummz on Twitter. Okay, you have reporter Ryan Easby, who writes for PC Games, violating TOS to try and mass report Grummz. And you can see here he's talking about how Mark Kern, who is Grummz, is now openly and aggressively harassing a journalist for doing her job. So I want it very publicly known that if you associate with him or agree with any of his ideals, you're simply not welcome in any gaming space worth a damn. Then he goes, he can pass off his bigotry, his misogyny as just an April Fool's joke, but people who aren't stupid know what it really is. Anyways, go report his account. Cheers. So yeah, this is a coordinated effort by the same people trashing Stellar Blade that are also going after Grummz because he's been pointing out all this like woke hypocrisy and agenda in the gaming industry. Grummz even put out here, "I broke Reset Era with my April Fool's joke," and you see all these people freaking out over Grummz, making fun of Alyssa Mercante. This guy was already in the piece of crap category, but now it's an F this guy. I think he wonders why no woman ever wanted to marry him. Would this be grounds for a restraining order? Yeah, these guys need to really study the law because this is just but yeah, anyways. Charlie Watchels, I've seen before on here. I'm pretty sure he's another one of these wonderful games journalists, as they call themselves, saying this former Blizzard guy who's gotten fired from his own studio is such a piss baby. Not mentioning or quoting him because I don't want to give him air, but if you see him harassing folks on the timeline, don't forget to report it. Basically, now Grummz is Voldemort. That's how these people are treating Grummz, is as if he is literally the man you can't name. Derek Van Dyke. Mark Kern hasn't contributed to the gaming space since I looked like this. I don't know who you are, Derek Van Dyke. Podcaster, not a journalist. Queer NB Autistic Triple Threats. That super textured voice on official SDGC and Castle Bravo Pod. Well, okay, so you're a nobody is basically what you're admitting to there in your bio. Then you have this one guy saying, give me proof of what he worked on specifically, referring to Grummz having been a World of Warcraft developer. And Grummz quote tweets and says, people keep trying to erase my role in World of Warcraft, but John Statz wrote an entire book on it, and then he links to the book on Amazon. Now you get to today, and this is the most serious part of this video. Grummz has family in Taiwan, and we have had a massive, massive 7.5 earthquake with a 7.4 aftershock. And he's still waiting to hear from members of his family. As last I saw, he had heard from some of them, but he didn't have, tabs on where everybody was and if they were all okay. And Cabrutus tweeted out, "Yo, Grummz, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this kind of stuff in such a difficult moment, but at the same time, I felt like I needed to expose this. How can these people be so cruel? Don't they have families too? I would never wish something so horrible to anyone. Family is sacred." And this person here, NASA McMahon, saying that Grummz is engagement farming his family's, quote, possible deaths. You made 7 posts about it back to back talking about you taking a break, just letting you know it's karma. KKK actually killed people. Another person saying LMFAO sucks to suck nerd in response to Grummz tweeting out about his family. So these are the kind of people we're dealing with. So honestly, I don't feel like there's any point in ever letting up on criticizing games journalism, the games industry, whether it's the actual studios themselves that put out this woke trash, or if it's the journalists who are reporting on it who are complicit in it. But yeah, you know what? You know what doesn't suck? Meta PCs. In fact, I have a code you can use for Meta PCs, and somebody pointed out in my last video, I did not mention Meta PCs on their website has financing options, so you do not have to pay up front. You can pay little installments every month. And you get yourself a great PC, break free of the consoles, open up your options to play more games on Steam. That way you can pick which developers you want to support, which ones you don't. And you don't have to worry about playing woke garbage or playing games from people who hate you. You can play whatever it is you want and just be happy knowing that you're not supporting people who don't want you to exist anymore. All right, guys, that's it. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you later. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.